Most end-of-lives are not going well today. Hi everyone, it's Susanna Bryan. As a former hospice and oncology nurse, I can confidently say that most end-of-lives are not going well today. End-of-life affects all of us, and one day all of us will be asked to show up and care for someone we love at the end of life. And right now, end of life is not going well for most people. Hi everyone, I'm Susanna Bryan. I'm a former hospice and oncology nurse, and the reality of hospice care is that hospice expects the families to do 98% of the hands-on care, and most people don't know the first thing about how to care for someone who is dying. They're scared, they lack the necessary skills, and they don't know how to prepare for this. As a hospice nurse, I was there for 1 hour once a week if my patient was what you call stable. When I walked in the home, I could feel the stress go down. And when I walked out of that door 60 minutes later, I could feel the stress go right up again. I almost think that it's cruel to be putting families through this, asking them to care for someone they love at the end of life when they don't know how to do it. I asked you all to rate your level of confidence in your end-of-life care ability on a scale from 1 to 10 last week, and it's clear that most people don't know how to care for somebody and don't feel ready, and that's totally understandable. There are some alarming caregiver statistics. Did you know that 89% of caregivers provide care for a relative or a loved one, such as a spouse, at the end of life? 89%. That's almost 100%. Did you also know that live-in family caregivers provide 37.4 hours of care per week on average, and this number increases as that person becomes in their end-of-life phase. More than 75% of all family caregivers are female. We expect that, and we know that. And most family caregivers who support a senior will also be the primary caregiver for that person during the end of life. The average family caregiver is about 50.1 years old. Now, through decades of working with patients and families at the end of life, I've identified 3 essential things that you need to know in order to have end of life go well, and I'm going to teach them to you right now. Number 1, understanding what quality of life subjectively means to you. That is the benchmark of when you would not want to pursue aggressive treatment and when you would want to go on comfort care. Number 2, understanding that regrets are really the number 1 fear of the dying. We do not want to get to our end of life and have major regrets. And number 3, choosing where you want to be cared for at the end of life and what would make that possible. 9 out of 10 people say that they want to be cared for at home at the end of life. And I understand that. I want to be cared for at home at the end of life. But we need to understand, what would you need to put into place? What would you need to learn to make that possible, to have that go well for not only the person, but for you as well? The level of knowledge and skills that a caregiver has can be the difference between a positive end-of-life experience, one that's defined by peace and love and comfort and dignity, or one that causes pain and heartache, not only for the person dying, but for the rest of the family for years to come and sometimes forever. We only have one opportunity to have end of life go well. Now, oftentimes we wait until we are in crisis situation to start making a plan on how to handle the end of life journey for a loved one. And this is too late. It does not work then. You can't learn things when you're in it. People mistakenly also think that I don't need to know how to care for my loved ones because when the time comes, I'll put them on hospice care. Unfortunately, most people can't rely on hospice alone to achieve a positive end-of-life experience at home. Most people do not know how hospice works today, what hospice does, and what they don't do. In my next video, I am going to show you how to fill the hospice gap and what you need to know to have a positive end-of-life experience. I want you to leave me a comment. I would love you to message me and share what you learned in this video and what questions you have. And I am going to do my very best to answer each and every one of them. This is so important that we get together on this, and together We can make end of life the natural, sacred experience it was meant to be. So leave me a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.